What's up, storytellers? Imagine being kidnapped from your bedroom in the middle of the night and then being held captive for 119 days in the last place anyone would ever think to look, a church attic. But here's the insane part. When the police searched that exact attic looking for you, they found nothing. You were literally feet away from rescue, but nobody knew you were there. Today, I'm telling you the absolutely mind-blowing true story of 15-year-old Leslie Gatis, the girl. And trust me, this story will leave you speechless. But first, if you love true stories of survival and incredible human courage, smash that subscribe button because we dive deep into the most unbelievable real-life stories. Let me set the scene for you. Memphis, Tennessee, February 1982. We've got this guy named Sam Drash, 42 years old, headmaster of an elementary school inside this massive United Methodist church. I'm talking about a building with a chapel, school, dozens of offices, full gymnasium, kitchen. This place was basically a small city. Now Sam's got this habit. He keeps a big bowl of mixed nuts on his desk because he's always snacking while doing paperwork. So one morning, Sam walks into his office and his bowl is completely empty. He knows he filled it up the night before. He's thinking, okay, somebody's playing pranks. He heads to the kitchen to get more nuts, and that's when things get weird. The church cook sees him and goes, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Food has been disappearing for a month." Not just snacks, guys. We're talking about a whole ham disappearing from a locked refrigerator overnight. The cook literally put a padlock on the fridge, and somehow an entire ham just vanished. Sam's thinking, great, probably some kids from the school are pulling pranks. But this was just the beginning of something much, much darker. So Sam gets the locks changed on the fridge, thinking that'll solve everything. Wrong. A few days later, March 3rd, Sam's walking past the kitchen when the cook calls him over with this look on his face like, "You've got to see this. More food is missing." But here's the kicker. Only a handful of people have keys to the new locks, and they're all church administrators who definitely aren't stealing soda. But wait, it gets weirder. The cook tells Sam, "It's not just food anymore. Someone's messing with my personal stuff." Every morning, his work shoes and apron would be moved around the kitchen. Shoes on the counter, apron somewhere else. Like someone was just playing with his things. The cook's like, "Why would they do this? They don't even see my reaction. What's the point?" Sam's equally baffled. But then he walks into his office and finds something that changes everything. There's a paper towel sitting on his desk with a handwritten note. And this note mentioned the recent murder of 15-year-old Leslie Gatis, a case that was all over the Memphis news. A girl who'd been kidnapped from her bedroom and was presumed dead. The note suggested there was something in the church's attic that would change everyone's understanding of this murder case. Now Sam's thinking, is this some sick prank? But here's the thing, if there was something in that attic related to a murder case, he had a responsibility to report it. So he calls the police. They show up, read the note, and search the attic extensively. They search the entire building. They find absolutely nothing. The cops tell Sam, "Yeah, this is probably just a prank from whoever's been messing with your kitchen." But over the next few weeks, the food keeps disappearing despite changing locks multiple times. The cook stuff keeps getting moved around, and more handwritten notes start appearing, not just on Sam's desk, but on other church officials' desks too. Everyone else thinks it's pranks, but Sam's getting this gut feeling that something's really wrong here. Then the final straw happens. Sam's at church with his family on Sunday. His young son grabs a Bible from the pew, opens it up, and a note falls out. Another handwritten note about Leslie Gatis. Sam's like, now kids are finding these notes? This has gone too far. By March 17th, Sam decides he's had enough. He's thinking, this isn't some kid prank. This has been going on for weeks. The notes are getting darker. This feels like an adult, maybe an outsider breaking in. So he sets up a stakeout with the church maintenance crew. They're gonna hide in the building at night and catch whoever's doing this red-handed. By 10 p.m., it's just Sam and the maintenance guys hiding in various spots, watching the hallway that leads to the kitchen and Sam's office. Hours pass. Nothing happens. The church is dead quiet. The maintenance crew gets bored. One guy decides to stretch his legs and walk around the building. He's checking each room. Nothing's happening. When suddenly, he hears movement behind him. He turns around and sees a light come on in the kitchen. Thinking, holy crap, I caught them. He charges down the hallway, bursts into the kitchen, and sees something that nobody, and I mean nobody, was prepared for. Here's what really happened to Leslie Gatis. She wasn't murdered. Everyone thought she was dead. The news, the police, everyone. But 42-year-old Ernest Stubblefield had kidnapped her from her bedroom and brought her to this church. He'd been holding her in a secret crawl space in the attic for 119 days. 119 days, guys. Nearly 4 months. Ernest kept her at knife point, watched her 24/7, telling her, don't worry, I'm getting ransom money, then you can go. But Leslie's smart. She realizes there's no ransom plan. This guy's gonna have to get rid of her eventually. So she decides to save herself. In those rare moments when Ernest wasn't watching her, like when they snuck down to the kitchen for food, Leslie would take way more food than 2 people needed, hoping someone would notice the huge amounts going missing. She moved the cook's shoes and apron around, trying to signal that something weird was happening. And when she got those precious few seconds alone, she'd grab paper towels and scribble notes like, my name is Leslie. I'm in the attic, and leave them on people's desks. This girl was literally leaving breadcrumbs, hoping someone would figure it out. When the police searched the attic after Sam's call, Leslie was right there, just feet away from rescue. But Ernest had found this hidden crawl space nobody knew about. She could probably hear them searching and thought, this is it. I'm saved. But they left without finding her. But Leslie didn't give up, and neither did Sam. That maintenance worker bursts into the kitchen during the stakeout, and there she is, Leslie Gatis, alive, standing right there. She sees him, Ernest's behind her, and she makes a desperate run for it, diving into this maintenance worker's arms, praying he won't run away. Ernest takes off running but gets caught. Leslie saved herself using nothing but stolen food, moved shoes, and paper towel notes. Ernest Stubblefield was convicted of kidnapping and sentenced to 20 years in prison. But here's what gives me chills in the best way. Leslie Gatis was hailed as a hero for saving herself. She went on to become a successful lawyer and served on the board of the Commission on Missing and Exploited Children. Think about that. This 15-year-old girl spent 119 days being held captive, and instead of giving up, she used every tiny opportunity to leave clues and signals. When the adults around her thought it was just pranks, when the police search came up empty, when it seemed like hope was lost, she kept fighting. She literally saved her own life with paper towels and persistence. What would you have done in Leslie's situation? Do you think you would have been clever enough to leave those kinds of clues? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If this story of incredible survival and courage inspired you, smash that like button and subscribe for more true stories of human resilience that'll restore your faith in people.